Daddy, pretty good. I carry 4 bowling balls when I bowl, depending on what the lanes are doing. I carry 202. I'm down a little bit as you get older. So I was 212, 214. This year 202. I won some money on. I won some money.
Everybody's sitting in the, you know, I'm in the wrong seat here. I don't know. I'm sitting fine.
It's your turn this time, Ed.
I think we're all here. We're all here. With that, Public Works will be in session. First item is number 17. It is a resolution authorizing and directing the city engineer to enter into a state municipal agreement for the water main improvement project with the Wisconsin Department of Transportation for design, construction, and other related work for the location of 2 water mains underneath Highway 894 and West Lincoln Avenue at West Beecher Street.
Yes, they're,
Turn it over to our engineer. Mr. Birch.
they're widening 894, it's part of the zoo. And, we have a 16-inch crossing at Beecher, and we got a 12-inch crossing at Lincoln. And this will go past the steel casing, so they're gonna relocate it. They're changing the elevation of the road, so, it comes into contact with our,
Oh, are we getting any money from the state to do this, or is this all on our door?
we pay 10%.
Okay, so 90% of it is covered by,
Yeah, by them, except for a short piece, about 130 feet, I think, of the 16-inch. They're gonna pull out of the casing and put new pipe in there rather than just put new pieces on each end, because we requested that, so.
Wow, good peripheral.
Alderman Rowe.
I'm guessing Lincoln Avenue's from the bridge is hanging?
No,
Or is
it's actually north of the bridge, buried.
Oh, okay.
So they're gonna move it a little and extend the steel casing.
Anybody else?
That's all I got.
Move for approval.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Ranky, seconded by Alderman Weigel. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 18, resolution to amend the policies and procedures section 2202, Building and the Sign Division, the Department of Public Works, to include procedure for the public to request the placement of replacement of the no parking within 4 feet of a driveway, no parking between driveway signs, as approved by the city engineer for a fee of $150.
Yes, this was requested by Alderman Isaac. And what it is it happened that on 85th Street near Central, and Alderman Rote was also contacted by that resident. He's got people parking between the driveways where there's no legal room for a car. I think we figured out a smart car might fit in there. You got about 8 feet of legal parking space. So legally, you could call the police every time someone parks in there, but it's causing him and his family problems getting back out of their driveway.
Mhm.
So he would like a sign up there. And since it's already a state law, we don't need an ordinance to have a no parking zone there. We just put up a reminder, basically, no parking within 4 feet of the driveway approach.
And to put that up, you want to charge the resident the $150?
Charge the resident that requests the sign, the cost of putting up a sign.
Mr. Chair?
Yeah.
Mr. Chair.
Alderman Rowe?
And actually, Joe had a real good point that he made to me on the phone. That's like putting a sign up in front of a fire hydrant. You know you're not supposed to park there. But this would just be, and you're not supposed to park in front of houses where there's no room, but if they want, they could put the sign in for $150.
Alderman Ranky?
We've never had signs of this nature before, have we?
We've had signs, like no parking between
Like handicap signs and
driveways
things like that. I didn't think we really kind of not frowned on it, but we were very protective
Yes.
of not doing something like this.
Well,
And then also, does the fee $150, does that cover all the costs?
That covers the
And is it
cost.
per year, or is it
It's per
just a
placement.
standard fee forever?
Per placement. So if it gets stolen, knocked down, and has to be replaced, it's another $150.
Right.
So,
So how many signs do you anticipate being requested?
one.
There-
It could be, we looked down that particular block, and there's several situations that are similar, but we didn't have a complaint from those people. So maybe if people see a sign, they may inquire about it. And I don't know if it's a real issue somewhere else, you know, this being where the kids from Central Park,
Right.
you know, they're gonna pretty much park anywhere, so.
And if you don't charge for them, you're gonna have everybody requesting.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
They're
it
gonna
would
be
say-
everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah, Alderman Weigel?
my daughter, it's her last year at Central. Sometimes she takes a moped to school. These two driveways we're talking about in particular, they're 8 feet apart, or they're
No, they're
15
16 or 17 feet apart.
So you're essentially going to take a place where you could park a motorcycle or a moped currently and make it no parking.
No, but the reason for it saying no parking within 4 feet of the drive is because a
Oh,
motorcycle could
I thought they
park
were going to
there.
be. I thought we were talking about two different kinds of signs here. No parking between driveways, or no par- or
Within 4 feet.
If
yeah.
if it was appropriate where there was no room to park any vehicle
yes, if they're
legally,
8 feet or less apart.
yeah,
Then you're going to put no parking between drives.
we could if it was requested.
But if there's now in this 4 feet, is it 4 feet from where the taper of the curb cut begins, or the taper of the curb cut ends, where it ends up flush with the road?
We're, it's
I don't-
the taper to taper.
Okay,
We're measuring, so.
so this wouldn't be a no parking with an arrow pointing in one direction. This would be
No,
Okay.
each site we would look at and determine where the sign should go and what it should say for that particular spot.
okay.
So,
Not that she never had. Nice thing about mopeds, you can park them a lot of places. You know, she-
Yeah.
she's-
so what the purpose of that is we didn't want to eliminate any legal parking.
Yeah.
So,
And just because a smart cars only car that fits, there's still, as I said, motorcycles.
right, motorcycles and little cars, very little cars.
Any further discussion? Oh,
Move for approval?
Second.
moved by Alderman Rote, seconded by Alderman Weigel. Further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, carried. Number 19, Alderman Lysick is requesting that we just place this on file.
So
Okay.
moved.
Second. Moved by Alderman Weigel, seconded by Alderman Rote.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
So the net result of this is that we currently have a ban in only one park. And that's,
75th.
yeah,
Rogers Place.
yeah, Rogers Park on 75th Street. I guess I'll address lifting that ban if, I'll talk to neighbors about that, see if we want to lift that ban perhaps. I don't know.
And what Mr. Lewis wanted us to do is, per Alderman Lysak, is contact the Milwaukee County Park System and kind of do some research and report back to the committee on what our findings are of the Milwaukee County and kind of try to be consistent with what they're doing in their park system. So,
I'd also like to see investigating a city dog park. I don't, does the county have any plans for any dog parks, do you know, in our? I don't think I've seen, there was a really extensive dog park plan at one time, and it's gotten scaled back on in the county parks.
definite. But,
One of the minor problems with dog parks is if you live 6 blocks away, you want a dog park.
No,
If you live next to it, you don't.
No, I'm not advocating any specific locations
Yeah.
at this point.
I'm just
sorry,
saying.
what was your address again?
That is, so I think there has been discussion about some dog parks and continuing discussion on them. But I know that, just from experience, that it's great for people that are 6 blocks away, but for the people that live right next to it, they're not too happy about it. So there's this, where do you go with them?
Mr. Chair?
Yep.
The word got out about this ordinance, and I received several emails on this from owners that feel they're being basically punished because they're the ones that follow the rules and have the leashes on the dogs and pick up the dogs' you might
Stuff.
say.
Fertilizer.
Dogs, right, the dogs' waste material, we'll put it that way. And they felt it was very unfair if we banned all dogs from the parks and the playgrounds. So just to let you know.
I
that
don't
we-
think you were alone on getting those
Okay,
emails.
yes.
So yeah, so placed on file, simple as that. Did we vote on it?
Not yet.
No.
We didn't?
No, we did not.
Turn it back around. It's been moved by Alderman Weigel, seconded by Alderman Rope to place on file. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Number 20 on tonight's agenda, resolution relative to accepting the proposal of Purple Cow Organics.
Move approval.
Moved by Alderman Weigel, seconded by Alderman Chaplesky. Any further discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Alderman Rope.
why was that held last meeting?
We had to investigate. We did have 4 contractors submit with the RFP. There's one vendor or contractor that did submit a bid that was relatively low, and we had to
Why didn't we go with
investigate.
him?
And we did. We invited that contractor in and said, "Do you understand?" Because it was substantially lower than the other 3 vendors. And are you sure you understand the procedure that the city with the yard waste and the brush collection? And his understanding, he withdrew because he did not completely understand the process of what we're asking for.
And these guys are gonna do all of our big logs and stumps and everything, and
Anything that's below 10 inches in diameter, yeah, they do chip and grind that. Anything over that, the city would take care of that.
and they do it by us, or they take it to their shop,
This individual will have a grinder on site.
on our site?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. And this is for brush, yard waste.
Any further discussion? Moved by Alderman Weigel, seconded by Alderman Chaplesky. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Number 21 is strictly here for discussion. Anybody have anything to add or subtract?
Mr. Chair.
Yep, Alderman Roach.
And I think I'm stealing Alderman Ranky's info about the health. You wanna take it?
No, you can take.
Well, okay, I will. We discussed it at our health department meeting last week, or health commission, and the thought came up is it should be based on bathrooms at a park. You know, if you're gonna be serving beer and all that stuff, and you got no bathrooms. That was just one of the thoughts that came out of the health commission meeting.
And that's something that they would have to, once they make a reservation, that party that, you know, if there's facilities there at the restaurant, we would accommodate that. So the bigger issue, the last couple of meetings have been the use of alcohol. Do you wanna use it for, one, special events, and then also for private parties? And if we can kinda, I guess, address that issue, like, Mr. Rose was indicating, either here or via email or, you know, a special gathering, where we can kinda discuss and email all your concerns, and then we can kinda, actually with all the other persons, vote on it as a whole. So,
I think the best way is to take it about maybe a half an hour before the council meeting. And so we have everybody as committee as a whole, everybody's there to, and maybe have a bullet point, and go through each bullet point of, you know, now we're concerned about these hours, we're concerned about whether there's alcohol or not, we're concerned about whether it should be bathrooms only places, which I think that concern is very real. If there's no facilities and we're allowing a party with beer in there, eventually people are gonna have a need, and where's that gonna take place? I think we all know the answer to that.
Well, we could require them to bring dog park.
Right, they would have to rent them, put them in, et cetera, but, so, I mean, but again, I think that would be soon, I think maybe even the next council meeting,
okay.
that we do a half hour prior, and,
And the,
bullet points on the concerns that are, you know, coming out now.
sure, okay.
I
So
think you've
either-
heard them,
And that's something that a communication can be sent out to all the alderpersons, with those bullet point, those main
Yeah.
areas, and submit back any feedback if we have mistakenly, omitted, a couple of them, or if you wanna add on to that, then we can have a gathering, yep,
Yep.
that's fine.
and I think 22 goes right along with it, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the permit.
Yep, so we're just gonna hold both 21 and 22. and then schedule a half-hour meeting prior to the next council meeting. Everybody good with that? That'll be, again, a committee as a whole.
Committee of the whole in 2 weeks?
Why not?
Okay.
So we can't do,
All right,
we're meeting at 6:30.
is it, okay, to interview? I've just been informed that there's gonna be an interview for police and fire commission candidate prior to that meeting, so the next one.
Sure, okay.
That would take us to the first one in June.
Yeah, are we up against a deadline here for any special events or any, is anybody, this hasn't been triggered by somebody wanting to have a wedding or anything, is it?
No, this was triggered primarily,
The skate park.
the skate park and someone wanting to rent that one. I don't remember what the date was for that.
And right now, it's all under the authority of the Director of Public Works, so
They just, there are no rules right now, basically, right?
that's the way you like
So
it.
just,
And again, I
catch as
think,
catch can, which is what has happened historically, because we had a wedding about, 10 or 12 years
Yeah,
ago.
at least.
It was the first one, when we first started working on this, and that's what the Public Works Director at the time did, was just sort of made it up. Tent was allowed, beer was allowed. You probably didn't know any of that, but it occurred.
and I think the thing is in the past 27 years that I've sat on the council, I kind of remember that request and not, they putting a lot of effort into a whole lot of nothing, but anyways, so I guess then, no problem, there's nothing coming up scheduled for the first one in June.
Okay.
Okay, thanks. Mr. Chair,
We,
could I ask, our city attorney, what part they had the wedding
I think it was Rogers,
celebrations?
I can't remember.
have me either.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was Rogers Park if I remember, it was before I was on the council, I believe.
Oh, they don't have no facilities.
No, I think it was, they had, the couple had a special connection to that park, which is why I kinda, we don't have Burner Botanical Gardens or, Lake Drive or anything. But I think this particular couple had a real connection to that park and they just had I think a very simple ceremony.
Yeah, it was pretty,
And when the parks were mentioned, if I could ask this question, Honey Creek is Old Settlers?
Yeah.
That's
On
what you consider,
8th and-
that park?
historical, yeah.
Well, that would be the only one that I would consider. If we went that road.
Any other comments on that? No. So again, we'll have a committee of whole meeting, half hour before the first one in June, and have everybody's concerns addressed at that time, and again, bullet points. Okay. 23 and 24 in tonight's agenda were the public hearing. The resolutions to confirm and adopt the report of the Director of Public Works, City Engineer, containing the schedule of the proposed assessments for improvements of West Hayes Avenue from South 92nd Street to,
I'm
yes,
just gonna do the further discussion, but I will move for approval. For further
Second.
discussion.
move for approval by Alderman Rote, seconded by Alderman Weigel. Thank you. I didn't have to read.
Wow, I should
Further discussion.
I just was gonna kinda comment on that guy with the semi trucks. I mean, we have every street has the semis like that, and weather, like Pete said, probably is the biggest factor on any street.
The street is almost 60 years old,
Right.
so they don't last that long,
Right.
so.
I also think, I was commenting with Alderman May, we were back and forth a little bit. And all you have to do is go over to, Theater Trucker Drive. And that was a paved street, I believe it's 7 inches. And we went over the top of that, and if he wants to see truck traffic and he wants to see weight, come to Theater Trucker Drive and see the Zignagel semis when the extra wheels are down
Right.
and,
And actually, they're not paying for it because they're on,
correct, yeah, they haven't
Curtis.
paid a penny. So,
it's unfortunate, it's just,
it is, but the semis did not wreck that street, I think everybody knows that, but. So, any other discussion on 23 and 24? With that, it's been moved by Alderman Roth, seconded by Alderman Weigel, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. That will conclude Public Works. And turn it over to Alderman Michael Chaplesky, Chairman of License and Health.
Call license out to order. First thing is Hassan Salem. In front. Have a seat.
see you at the gas station again.
Yeah.
Evening. This is the new application. 98th and Dakota.
Yes, sir.
What are you proposing the name of it?
Really don't know the name of it yet.
Okay. So you've purchased the property?
Yes, we did.
Okay. And were you aware that it did not have a liquor license and that we're over a quota for liquor license?
I did. And I was aware that it had a liquor license before. And for over 40 years or so, it was supper club, bar, restaurant, of that nature. So,
The only problem with that is that once it closed down for so long, the liquor license just goes away, and because we have a quota, we have to vote to go over quota. So it's not just, we can't just say, okay, we gotta go through a process, and there's gotta be so many votes to do it. So,
Yeah, Mr. Chair?
well, Ross,
Yeah, sir, are you the owner of the Happy Tap, or do you have a connection with the Happy Tap?
yes.
You own the Happy Tap?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's great, and so you have experience
Yes,
there?
I
Okay.
have experience before. Actually, I owned 2 different restaurants. I owned a while ago. I have been in the restaurant business since I was 15 years old. I owned the Ritz restaurant and KK at Lincoln when I was about. The family owned it when I was about 15 years old. We owned it for over 30 years. We owned another one. It's called Rick's on Broadway in Waukesha. I owned liquor stores before, and now Happy Tap.
Mr. Chairman,
Owen Barza?
are you proposing to take the Happy Tap license and transfer it there?
No.
Because,
That's-
again, there's no licenses available.
Yes.
We don't have any.
We had. I talked to Steve, and Steve told me that you guys will give, because it's a bar restaurant. I'm trying to make it a supper club.
I know, but I don't think you understand. There's no
I do
licenses
understand.
available.
Yeah.
There-
But I think
there aren't
there
any.
is a thing that you can go over the quota.
We can vote over the
Yes.
quota, but
Well,
for,
they
Yes.
that can happen, yes.
And I think I talked.
In
Not you.
normal circumstances,
Yeah.
to go over quota, and the perfect example is gonna be the hotel.
Yeah.
We have a hotel coming in here that has spent, I don't know, the millions of
12 million.
dollars.
Yeah.
12 million?
12 million.
A substantial improvement to that area.
Yeah.
With the development to bring in, tax dollars that are,
Yeah.
you know,
And it's a destination attraction.
correct,
If I
yeah.
can add
Just-
some words for you.
Just to start handing out licenses just because somebody wants to open up a restaurant somewhere, I'm not gonna support that.
Okay.
Personally, I can't speak for the other aldermen in the district, but it has to be a substantial impact on a community for at least me. That's the rules we've been following to go over quota.
But actually, it has been sitting for 4 years doing nothing.
Understood.
What I'm saying, and it has been in business for how many years?
we
and
know.
it's attraction, you know, and
We know.
you know.
We understand that. We understand that. Mr. Chair? Yeah. Alderman Rowe? Oh, hey, wrong one.
Chair.
okay, go ahead, Alderman.
And I will be voting no just because of the quota. And I
Yeah.
voted no on every bar over quota. It's not you. I know you own the Happy Tap and you're running
Yeah.
a good bar down there. We have no problem down there. I'm just trying to be consistent with the quota thing that I've done on every other bar.
But there is
Over quota.
license. There is license out there who people hold,
Right.
and they're not open.
Oh, yeah.
And
You may call them.
You can call them.
Can
and-
I call them and talk to them and buy the license, or
Well, you can transfer
Like-
various
how can I
assets.
transfer the license? Or
Mr. Chairman?
Order.
Yeah,
Go
Mr.
ahead.
Chairman?
Alderman Barza, keep it.
Licenses are not for sale.
not? No, I'm not talking about buying it. I'm talking about.
Let me.
Oh, go ahead.
Licenses are not for sale, that piece of paper,
Yeah.
but the business is.
Yeah.
So ABC Bar is now closed,
Okay.
and they have a liquor license.
Okay.
There is none, I'm making it up. I don't. So they have a license,
Yeah.
and they're holding a license.
Yeah.
Somebody can contact the owner of ABC license, and that information is available,
Yeah.
and say, hey, you have that license, may I buy your business?
Okay.
You're buying ABC, and the license comes with that.
Okay.
And now you own that business, and you can transfer that license.
Okay, you gotta come in front of us.
Right, you still have to come in front of us
We
for
have to
approval.
approve it, but, we done?
Yeah, I wanted to explain how that works.
Right.
The licenses aren't for sale.
I think,
Oh, right.
I think you have to understand also that just because you have a license doesn't mean you'll be allowed to transfer that license to this location. I think there'd be a public hearing.
Right, you still-
We'd hear from the neighbors, you know. I guess my question for you is, did you buy this with the is this your only plan, or do you have a plan B? You understand that maybe, you know, you bought it, you had to know there was no license.
Yes.
You had to know there may be some difficulty in getting a license there, difficulty and or expense, okay? And I just wanted to make sure that we're not, that you have the wherewithal, understand at least that you have a plan B. You know, it's not my district, you know, it's a very residential neighborhood.
I understand.
I imagine that residential use, to my way of thinking, might be the highest and best use for that property. You could probably build, you know, I think there's a home on there already, and there's, you know, I just want to make sure that you didn't buy this with the sole expectation of opening up a supper club there. And I guess I'm not familiar enough with the Rick's on Broadway. You say supper club, I don't know,
Yeah.
do you have experience in
Yeah.
the fine dining business?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Yes.
And so if you've been in the fine dining business, then you know how much the market has changed.
Yeah,
Okay. The supper club business is dead. You know.
it depends.
Yeah, unless you're Joe Barlotta or you know.
Jackson Grill doing
Yeah.
very well.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
very, very well. The
Yeah.
area where I'm talking about, 98 and Tacoma, is great.
Yeah.
And
38
I
Mitchell
talked,
does very well. Yes.
and I talked to,
Yeah. But I just, you know, just because that's what it was, doesn't mean that that's what it's going to be again.
no, I mean, where do you have a location like 98 and Dakota where you can sit and enjoy your dinner and enjoy the view of, it's almost like sitting in the bar and having your dinner
Yeah.
and not watching Highway 100.
Yeah, unless you
and-
own the house across the street and you don't want to see
Well,
people.
but I talked to the house
Yeah.
across the
Anyway,
street.
I just wanted to make sure. So, do you have a plan? You have a plan B, I assume.
No,
Okay.
Okay.
I just wanna say something I disagree with Alderman Barzak, is that, you know, that the only way we're gonna give a license for a major, you know, like a hotel, somebody spending a major amount of money, I disagree with that, because, you know, the little guy gets the
Thank you.
shaft then,
Thank
you know,
you,
and
thank you.
I don't agree with that. We've given liquor license to, Chef Paz, we've given liquor license to.
Coffee shop?
To coffee shop here, and, you know, both over a quarter. I realize you
Voted against every one of them.
but we have done it before, and we could do it again. I just don't, you know, we're looking for, what we're not looking for is a sports bar, which basically is a bar, and we don't want anything like that. We wanna, if you came up with a really good restaurant, a destination restaurant that people are gonna come to, you know, I could support that. So,
that's my
but-
plan. That's what
but,
my plan is. I'm not looking for a restaurant to open a bar,
Right,
you know, even at Happy Tap.
Right.
I don't even have a pool table at Happy Tap
Yeah.
because I don't want problems. We're not into that. Happy Tap is a bar,
Right.
as you guys know. Most of the days we close by midnight. Okay, so we're really not looking for something where we bring trouble into
Right.
the neighborhood. I already thought there's a sheriff right directly behind the place, and there's a police officer right there, and there's a couple of teachers on the other side of it. And I talked to all of them, and they all in support of the place. They all talking
You're going
and
to need
supporting.
that. You're
Yeah.
going to need that.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, one last question. Obviously, when you went in to purchase it, you did an agreement to purchase with getting approval for a liquor license,
No.
correct?
No.
You just went and bought this and said, council's gonna give me the license,
No, I didn't
and I know that's gonna happen.
No, I didn't. I did not say Common is gonna give me the council.
Did
How
you do
I know
any
that?
investigation that we are over quota?
Yes, and I talked to
So-
people about.
Okay, hang on. So you knew, you purchased this without any written agreement from whoever you bought it from, that it would be subject to getting a liquor license. You didn't do that, and you went and bought it anyways. And you're just expecting us to hand you a liquor license
I'm not
over
expecting
quota.
you to hand me anything. Sir.
Okay, I'm just,
Okay, I'm not expecting you to hand me anything.
I'm just
I
trying to
mean,
figure out where we're at.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
you have no plan in front of you. You don't have any plan,
you know, I just received that letter
okay?
last night. Actually, my neighbor brought me that letter who held on to it for for a couple of days because it was misdelivered to his house.
Right.
And I got that letter last night. I got off from Happy Tab, okay, about 10 o'clock at night. I work for the post office too. Okay, so yes, I came here with no plan, but I know that I do have a plan for 9801. I think what I do to it, it's better than it has been sitting there for 4 years, empty, doing nothing. And honestly, I think what I'm trying to bring in, you're right about, I'm not spending $20 million for a hotel, but like how he said, I'm a small business and I can actually provide work for 20 to 24 people that work and can make good living. I have people at Habitat who are making good living.
I totally understand all that. What I don't understand, how anybody can go in and buy something without any research. And
I did research.
I don't get that. I don't understand that, but.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Alderman Haas.
and to follow up on your concerns, Alderman Barzak, you did research, but you also got a big reduction in the sale price.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
so
I bought it from a bank.
Yeah, and
Okay, I bought the place from
there's
a
the
bank.
answer.
So the bank is
In
not
order-
gonna give me,
Okay, let him finish.
sure,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Sure, yeah. In order to not have those contingencies on your offer to purchase, they reduced the sale price dramatically
Thank you.
in order to make the
Yes.
sale go through. And that's great. That's very shrewd business.
Yes.
And to disclose to you a little bit about us and how this works, I'm one of the alderpersons for the district, and Alderperson Rosalie Reinke is the other alderperson for the district that the Pleasant Valley Inn is in. And she's the lady who was in this chair just a moment before at the other committee meeting.
Yes.
So you know who these people are,
Yeah.
who these players are. And I want to share with you, I have a problem with a new with a use of that area as anything other than single family homes, which is what the entire area is currently zoned for, the entire surrounding area. Specifically, the property has been closed for long enough that it's like we're starting over in our analysis, and the fact that it's there is a mistake of history. And if we had to start over from the beginning, we would never put a restaurant in smack dab in the middle of a single family residential area. That's why we have zoning, to avoid things like that. So while we're just talking about the issue of the liquor license right now, and I agree with my my peers here that we're not going to vote to go over quota in regard to the liquor license, I want to encourage you to look at other options for that property.
Okay, what I wanna do with this is that I'm gonna hold this because he just got the letter, he doesn't have a plan. And we don't know what type of restaurant he's thinking about opening. I think I wanna wait to hear the plan back from him and see what he has, what he's expecting to go on there. And so I'm just gonna hold this, I'm not gonna bring it out for a vote right now, okay?
Very
Thank
good.
you.
Very
Okay.
good.
Mr. Chair, if I could.
Alderman?
So you're familiar with the 10 or 11 page application we have, you filled that all out.
Yes.
Whatever you could bring us to reassure us, like a menu, you know, some sort of payroll projections, you said 20 or 24 people, you know, I don't know how much of a plan, I don't know if you're going to the bank for money, how much of a business plan they expect, but whatever you could bring us to reassure us that this isn't just gonna be another bar, I guess, you know.
I don't want another bar.
You got one already.
Yes, I don't
One's
want
enough.
another bar.
One can be enough.
Yes,
Yeah.
I want a supper club, I want something like, he was saying, I want something, a destination. Okay, people talk about it. People said, when it used to be Norby Baker, people still talk about it now.
It's a long time
Okay.
ago too.
Yes, and I wanna keep that going. You know, they said it's in residential area. It has been in that for 40 or more than years. It never bothered anybody. Still, to this day, it's not bothering anybody, and people in the neighborhood wants it. You probably talk to people, you probably know people more than me, there's the sheriff right directly behind it, and the police officer right behind it, both of them, that I talked to, and both of them in full support of it. And I'm not trying to bring, you know, I'm gonna be straight, trash to the neighborhood. I'm gonna try to bring a business, a good run business,
Upscale business.
yes, to the neighborhood. Not just a bar. I'm not interested in bringing a bar. I'm trying to bring high class, something the West Dallas be proud of. So,
So let's hold this, fill out, and get us, like Alderman Weidel said, some information, what you're projecting it,
I will
the
do
place
that.
to be like.
Aesthetic
so.
plans, what you plan to
Yeah.
fix up, what you plan to paint, what you plan to replace, repaving a parking lot, all new lights going in there, and, you know, everything that you're going to do.
okay, and the other question I have, how about the liquor license? If I can talk to somebody who owns a liquor license right now,
A business that has a liquor license.
yes, a business that has a liquor license and
They
closed,
might even be on for sale on Craigslist, for sale.
you never know. What's on Craigslist, I don't know.
There is one on Craigslist.
Is there?
Yeah.
But,
Well, here you go.
No, there you go.
Well, maybe he wants to buy it now.
No, I got one already too.
Oh, he got one too? Okay, so here
Not
you
for
go.
sale.
we can't really, until we see what you're gonna do, I know what you want from us, that if you can buy another business that has a liquor license, would we okay to transfer? And I don't think we're prepared to say that yet, because we don't know exactly what we're gonna see there.
We need some
So-
written proof.
So,
of
show us
you're
what
gonna
you're
do.
planning on and everything, and then we'll go from there. And we're just gonna hold this for now. If you run across a place that you can possibly buy the business in.
I actually
you know,
do have
and
one.
so-
Don't do it until, that doesn't guarantee it'll be transferred.
Okay,
Right.
So don't make, again, subject to getting
Yes.
approved by council.
okay.
So any purchase, subject to getting approved.
Are you
In
working
case it
with a
doesn't
lawyer
happen,
on
you're,
this?
Huh?
Are you working with a lawyer on this?
Not yet,
Well,
but I might
it's
have to.
Probably it might be worth your while.
It's
Yeah.
adding a contingency to
Yeah.
the purchase.
yep, to the purchase of.
So you mean I should come with an attorney
Okay.
over
No,
here?
on your
No.
purchase.
On your purchase,
The purchase of this other business, you might want a
Okay.
lawyer.
that you have contingents in there, that it's, the purchase would be subject to me getting approval to transfer that license to a location. So if it doesn't happen, you're not out any more money.
Can I, go ahead.
Can you have us all done by the 21st? You have to have it?
Yeah, and then we'll have it on the agenda for the fourth Tuesday of the
Yeah, I
month.
think I can do that.
Okay, make sure it's in her office before the 21st. You know, all that
Okay, I
information.
have to do it and bring it to you.
The clerk's office.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll take it.
And so then we can get you on the agenda for the 28th, which is our normally scheduled meeting, Tuesday the 20. It is
Yeah, so
28th?
not quite 3 weeks,
Fourth
about
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Before Tuesday.
almost 3
Third
weeks from
Tuesday.
now.
Can I ask a question?
First and third.
How come you so much against it? I mean, I talked to them guys.
I'm against
and-
any license over quota without any substantial impact on the city of West Dallas, and always have been.
But it's bringing business to the,
You asked
It's
me,
the
I
28th.
answered you.
it's bringing
It's gotta be
business. It's a small
substantial.
business. I don't know. As the small guy have to live too, just like the big guy, the $20 million guy.
If somebody came into the middle of the 3rd district right now, into the residential area and wanted a liquor license, I would not vote for it. Or if I had an open tavern in my area, I would not vote for it. I'm not for going over quota. We are the second highest per capita licenses per capita in Wisconsin. Second highest.
Okay.
We have more licenses in the city of West Dallas than any other city, except for one. There's one other city that has more.
What, Cudahy?
No, you'll never guess who it is. No, Lacrosse.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, I
Okay.
would guess that.
They're the
Now
only
let's,
other one.
Okay.
So
Okay,
it's not you.
So get
it's
that
all.
information
Yeah.
and,
Trivia contest is now on
over
hold.
to,
Yep.
Okay.
and to clerk's office, I mean, and then we'll go from there, and it's being held right now tonight,
Okay.
so there won't be.
By
no
the
more-
21st.
So,
Yes.
Okay.
preferably before.
Okay. No problem.
Thank you.
That's it.
Okay, that's
Thank
it.
you very much
Yep.
to all of you.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Item number 34. There's nobody here for that, is there?
No, not yet.
Now, I don't have the stipulation there's stipulation in front of us, is it in here?
So it's on
It
Legistar.
actually is, yes. They put a copy in for your review.
And they're looking for a dance hall, a new dance hall, and I thought we eliminated dance.
Yeah, we didn't want them to have a dance hall license.
And
That
they-
was
yes,
problems.
And they're also
68th and Burnham.
requesting to change their hours.
They wanna go back to normal hours?
It's different than what the stipulation had.
Yeah, I didn't.
11 a.m. to 12 a.m.
And then he
to
has a-
Sunday.
Yeah, he has a letter further in. Everything should be flagged on the side,
Oh,
yeah.
there. Okay. That's great. I'm gonna read this. I don't see any hours. Hours 1 a.m. They want to be open to 1 a.m. Monday to Saturday. What are they currently? Stipulation.
Yeah, isn't
It's in the stipulation.
What's the stipulation? Which is next? Yeah. Okay. 12. Okay, this things aren't working here today. I don't think it is. This talks about the bar hours being closed. I don't see a change in hours. I thought it was that we shut down just the bar from a certain hour. Yeah, it says it. Should be closed at midnight and not reopen until 6 a.m.
Yeah, they were closing it.
It's a tavern, which includes tavern and restaurant. But I think this was this for only a certain amount of time? And every day after
I
the
don't
license?
believe
No?
so. I think it
Well,
was
it does say
forever.
it.
Yeah,
And every day afterwards.
yeah.
So they're, okay, so they gotta be closed from midnight to 6, and they're requesting to 1? Extension of hours to 1 a.m. Monday to Sunday.
And they want dancing back.
And they applied for dance. Standing hours. Have we had any problems since then? I think there was just something minor, which wasn't even their fault.
I think somebody was overflow from the place across the street.
Yeah. So anything
Do
there?
you want problems
but,
again?
how long's it been? Go back and look at this.
Well, I think it was really only just this last license year, wasn't it?
Yes,
Yes.
it was very recent.
Yeah.
Like 6 months.
Oh,
Didn't we have him here last time?
Mr. Chairman,
June 1st, 2014 is when right around we were talking about it. So it's about a year.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman,
Alderman Barza.
I think the particular location, the problems that we had, and they were quite repetitive, and they were getting extremely serious. And I think the
Shooting guns in
precautions
the
that we
area.
have taken has worked. And me personally, I am not ready yet to support either of the requests that they are asking for.
Do you
Me
have a motion?
personally. My motion would be to place on file. To
Well, it's a
deny-
renewal.
You gotta deny. No?
Well,
no?
renewal
It's not renewal.
as
Prior
prior stipulations.
Yeah, the liquor license is a renewal,
Yes.
but then the dance hall would be a new license application as part of this whole package
Yeah.
with the request
Oh,
on
number
changing the
35.
hours,
So,
so
but-
it's kinda like a
So
number of
they
things
just
going
pack,
on.
I think.
so they packaged them all together.
I don't have my change.
At this
Do you wanna have them separated, or?
Well,
I can break it out in the future for you.
Well,
That would be
Mr. Chair,
better.
I think what we wanna do is move to renew under the previous license restrictions
Stipulation.
Correct.
and,
Deny the dance hall.
and deny the dance hall. I mean, that we just as amended, or,
Well,
That works.
no.
And I'd note it's been less than a year
Yeah.
that they've been under those restrictions because I was on the council and on this committee when they came before us. And so it hasn't been too long.
So we're not really amending anything. We're just, because we're approving the license, but we're denying the
Dance hall.
Dance hall
hall
license.
and that's 35, correct?
Based on the stipulation.
34.
Right, but what is the dance hall for 35?
Music dance, well, that's all other ones.
Oh, that's a different, okay.
But, yeah, that's other application.
Okay, sorry.
And variance and
Okay.
denying the request to change the hours also based on the stipulation.
Correct.
Okay, so, I think we can do it all in one vote. Okay, so, Alderman Barzak's making the motion to approve the liquor license,
Approve the liquor license,
subject to stipulations.
subject to stipulations staying the way they were, and deny the dance hall license request.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. I'm gonna write that. Okay, then we have 35, 36, 37, and 38.
Move approval, subject to necessary requirements.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Do I have any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Okay, then we have 39, 40,
That's ironic.
39 and 40. Should have read them off.
Move for approval subject to necessary requirements, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Then we have number 41. This is a request for, what is it called? Buzzard Fest. This is the first time I think
Nest
he's doing
Fest.
this. Nest Fest. Buzzard Nest, oh, I'm reading it wrong.
Yeah, it's for Nest Fest.
Nest Fest. Oh, there it is, okay.
Move approval.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? I think that maybe we should amend this to say that they have to have a Packers banner up, seeing that they're Bear fans.
They're converting.
That's a good idea.
Have you been in there? I think they're converting.
Okay, well, no stipulation. So, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Then we have 42.
Move for approval.
Do I have a second?
Second. That was Lynch.
Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Then we have 43.
Move approval.
Application is for liver
Second.
fermentation.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, then we have 44, 50, 51, 52, and 53.
Move for approval.
Second.
52 and 53, subject to necessary requirements.
Okay. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. See, the time when I write down 5-0, someone's gonna vote against it, I know it. Okay, we have 54, 55,
I'm gonna vote no just to screw you up.
56, and 57. What?
Present.
Move for approval subject to necessary requirements, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Then we have we're skipping 58, we're gonna go to the stipulation. Is everybody going over the stipulation, make sure that's what they understood?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Actually, when I read it, it sounded like we're the 15 days, and then she's supposed to get the proof of waste hauling before the 15 days are up. We don't care when she gets the proof of waste hauling. We're just not going to let her open until she gets it. Did I misread that? Or
Yeah,
was
well,
that-
that's the intent of it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what
Yeah.
it says, but that's,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that's,
we're all on the same page.
It makes it the way I read it, it made it sound like she has to get, what if she's scraping together for the money and she figures it'll be closed for 3 weeks instead? We wouldn't revoke the license because of that. The
She's not
intent
gonna
is
be able to reopen
she just
until
can't
she's got
open
the
until
covenant.
she has proof and she provides it to the
Yep.
health commissioner.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
okay. Do you have any further discussion on this? Do I have a motion?
That's 58, correct?
59.
59.
58's gonna be
Uh,
trouble.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
59,
Passes.
motion, this is the stipulation for
Move for approval.
chapter 58.
Second.
Okay, now, is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? And we're gonna hold number 60, and then we have items number
Is that the camera?
61 through 65, which I'll take a motion to place on file.
So move to place on file, or second.
Okay,
if,
well, second.
Alderman Hoskins.
Is there any, is there any further discussion? It was Alderman Weigel.
Yeah.
Uh,
It is Alderman Weigel.
Is there,
But yeah.
Oh.
is there any further discussion?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? And the chair will step down and turn it over to Alderman Rope for number 58.
Okay, number 58 is a second-hand jewelry dealer license renewal.
I'll move
Denied.
approval- I'll move approval, just for the sake of discussion.
Pass this down.
Is there a second?
Second.
I didn't get who,
I moved approval, but just for discussions.
okay.
Just for discussion's sake.
And who was the second?
I wasn't.
Huh? Oh, you?
I was close.
I yelled
He
denied
denied.
as loud as I could.
Oh, wow.
That was as loud as you could.
Well, no,
I was
that
with
was-
you.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
right,
It's like
right.
a parliament in some third world country here. It's just,
Yeah.
and further discussion? Or was that just a,
That was just,
okay, try to be funny?
Sorry, I can't say anything, sorry.
yeah, don't say
No,
it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
one present.
One present.
Yeah, 44 is in there.
That's right, they're alphabetical, I remember that.
Did, just gotta think about this for a second. Did you excuse yourself from the meeting?
No, he doesn't have
You
to.
didn't excuse yourself from the meeting.
We're not doing
Correct?
it, we're not doing it again.
What? I just stepped down, and turned it to chair.
Okay, you didn't excuse yourself.
Right.
Okay. Then you're good.
Okay, is there anything
Motion
further? A motion to adjourn?
So
So
move.
moved. Second.
You didn't sign it, Alderman Rowe.
Oh, pass it back down here. I'm sorry.
Jeez, do I get to do everything?
It ain't easy being chairman, is it?
That's right, right.
There you go.
Okay, you already proved, you can write down whatever you want to,
Right.
and
That's
then
it.
deny.
Shut that thing off.